Greetings again. I want to make a point here, something that's important. Uh, without this happening, everything's in vain. And I've been given a lot to give a lot, and that's why I've been doing what I've been doing. But it's pretty ugly out here. It's ugly in the real world. Um, the hate is more than any man could bear without our Father working in us, the hatred from everyone. But that's what I'm experiencing in real life here. Seeing right through the heart that nobody can actually love you, not counting true believers, but anybody else. It's a very simple teaching when he gives us the vision and sight of what a carnal man is. The carnal man is at war with our Creator 24/7. There is no genuine love or true care for love or truth for anything. It's only there to try and steal, kill, and destroy from what believers have in them, the Father in them. The Pharisees did it of old. The same spirit still exists. The Pharisee spirit of you need to do a bunch of things first, then Messiah will come in you. After you do so many good things that I tell you what to do, evil teachings, the very thing that the apostle was battling constantly was you need to do all these things first and then you'll receive Messiah. And there's people out there teaching it and I can't stand it, and I know that there's people falling for it, and yet the apostle didn't do away with the commandments. It's just the teaching of the gospel, receiving his spirit. They can't discern between that. The church world, so many people. I did nothing. Pure enmity towards the Creator. I hated my life. I wasn't like suicidal, like but I mean, it was pretty bad. It's pretty bad, full of rage and anger and hate, before believing on a sunny summer day about 8 years ago. But and looking back, whatever I believed or thought 5 years ago, I thought I knew something, and then a year later I go, wow, I didn't know much after all. And it seems like it keeps on happening like that. Just looking back, and you could see real understanding, growth, change. That's what it's all about. He's gently leading, like I read in Isaiah 40. The sheep are in his hands, gently leading them, correcting them, chastising them. And only through the Messiah, this is what the Father made it, the way he made it to be, only through the true Messiah. Only he could actually teach us things in the heart. And I see this, but I know it's hard to put into words, and people like, you don't hear this in the church world. What's that mean? It doesn't mean that believers can't give between each other and learn something, but we have to see who's doing the actual work. If I understand something, it's because it was given to me. I didn't learn it myself, or think about it and think for 10 hours straight reading books on what this means. He taught me how to give up doing that, because that's what the carnal mind does. It thinks all the time, and it thinks real hard, and it starts smoking. That carnal mind, it starts smoking because it's so evil. All it does is hate and murder all the time, and the murder, it's so vicious and so much. Sometimes it's funny, man. I mean, I'm angry sometimes, mad that it's happening. And then I just see like a different picture, you know. It's just a bunch of angry, rebellious children that need to grow up, and they think our father's a murderous monster, you know. Um, People who teach that you got to do some works first, you know, and commandment keeping first, and you know, it doesn't matter how many, a lot, all of them, whatever, and then Messiah. No, no, no. No, Paul wasn't a liar. He received revelation from Messiah, the same one we read his words in parable. The same Messiah taught him, and there cannot be division in the body like this. Not on such important things, you know. And possibly on some small things there might always be some, you know, differences, but I don't believe that these differences would separate ultimately, because I have enough confidence that the same Father could give the same truth to people. And the reason why there's so much division is because they're not being taught by the same Creator, the same Messiah. This is what's going on the most, is receiving all kinds of noise and whispering of the devil and snakes and books and prophets and false, you know, this over here, that over there. So there's millions of different things, and um, might be the most frustrating thing out of everything is seeing all the division. But, you know, there's certain discernment that's made when someone teaches a real damnable thing, like you have to do something first to receive his spirit, to become a believer, receive the Holy Spirit, you know, what Paul was teaching there, the gospel of, you know, the resurrection of Messiah, the gospel of him, because when Messiah was teaching, he didn't die yet. So he's teaching the gospel of the kingdom, which is for us. You give people the gospel. You don't go up to an unbeliever and say, "Oh, you wicked man, stop murdering, stop committing adultery, stop doing this, stop." That's not what you do to an unbeliever. There's no expectation for them to stop doing any of this. But for believers, it's a little different. People who say they believe, you know, there's some kind of expectation, not to know everything, but when there's a rank foul teaching going on, that there's works that need to be done first. I mean, if that person continues to teach that, this can't be a believer, because that's not what Messiah taught me. That's not what I see. In fact, I see that as the very enemy, the very thing that our Father hates, is pride and self-righteousness, thinking you can do it yourself. And that's the connection, spiritual connection, on why people teach this, is because they want to believe they're good and there's something good left about them. There's nothing good in them. All the members are nothing good. It's all sin, you know. There's nothing good in me. There's nothing good in the carnal man, you know, concerning his truth and actual real things. We're not good. We can't keep the law in our heart. So then we rely on our Father to write the laws in our hearts, you know. Here a little, there a little. Doesn't do it all at once. I would like it to be quicker. And I might always have that struggle of wanting it to be quicker, but he is doing the work, you know, the teaching on his time. Ultimately, when you throw your hands up and say, take over, not my will, you know, and he starts changing you. But this is a believer doing this. This is already assumed someone received the Spirit and they're a true believer. But the problem is that it's not the case for everyone. There's many false prophets deceiving many. And they want to put it up to yourself or themselves to do something good first, you know. Yes, it's true. If you deny Moses, how can you believe in me? That's true. Because how could a believer deny the commandments when that's the very thing Messiah is writing in their heart? But the serpent teaches this thing teach people that you have to keep all these things first. Just finish them, do them right now. Then Messiah, then his spirit will be given. See how it's all in ourself? The very thing that Paul's letters is going on, if anything, the most about is that exact same thing. That no, it's, I believe by his favor and true belief in Messiah first, that someone's accepted as a believer in the body, grafted in without any works, and my testimony and experience fits that perfectly. I did nothing at any point. Just believe one day, it was just hard to put into words, just dead and then alive all of a sudden, just no belief, no faith, and then belief. Why? I don't know. Just because he can, because he has mercy on whom he has mercy, chooses whom he chooses, has compassion on whom he has compassion. And it's always a few, but this is not going to be forever few. But that's the teaching now. That's what it is now. Many called, few chosen. This is how it's always been. There wasn't very many Noahs or Abrahams, or we could look at the scriptures and see it's always been few. That's not going to be like that forever, because he gives us truth on these things instead of teaching doctrines of demons, like people burning in fire for all eternity with no, just for the sake of torture, not able to change them like he's changing the believers now. He's able to resurrect them and then torture them, but he can't change them. He's able to resurrect them and then kill them all, just for the sake of getting down on your knees and worshiping him and saying, yes, this is, here, you know what I'm saying? Just for the sake of, oh, I'm going to make you bow. This is evil. This is the very thing he hates and teaches us we can't be like. This sadistic control and insecurity. That's not who he is. To know the Father is to know, to start learning who he is. That's why people teach false, evil doctrines, because they don't know him. And he's not a hypocrite at any point. He already is what he's telling us to be. He already rests before he tells us to rest. He's not a hypocrite. It's a massive blasphemy, and when people do this continually, how can they be believers? This is the warning signs. Who do they think he is? They don't see, it doesn't bother them. It's not even crossing them, because it's all about self. And I know it's I suppose difficult to believe so many people are doing that. But when you start seeing who and what the carnal man is, it's not that difficult to see. And he gives you the sight to see it. I just have that picture in my mind constantly, carnal, spiritual, and a carnal man is at war with any true believer in our Creator, obviously first, and Messiah first. And if the believers are one with Messiah, one with the Father, like he prayed his disciples to be one, not just 12, those that would believe after, he said too. They didn't forgot about that verse. That they're one with him. So when you're one, you're connected. See, to hate this believer over here is to hate Messiah. To trash this believer and try to destroy this, you did that to Messiah. You did this to my little one. You did it to me. You didn't do something to this little one. You didn't do it to me. What do you mean, Messiah? What do you mean? Where were you? When were you naked and hungry and thirsty? People don't know. They don't get it. Carnal man doesn't see what they're doing. They don't understand what they're doing. Um, when were you hungry and thirsty and all these things? When such and such person trashed and could care less about and fed them lies, they did that to him. That's when, to any true believer, that they're trying to sift, and get them to believe get some leaven in them so it could start growing, that yeast, that bread inside of them until the whole thing's corrupt. That's why Paul says, purge out the old leaven. Now, when someone has a carnal understanding and is carnal only, and that's it, no care for seeking truth from our Father, and they're reduced to understanding that is literally purging out stuff from your stomach, I better get it out. This is not making me spiritual. I got to purge out some literal leaven. Here, hold up. Let me go to the toilet first. When that's our only understanding, that has no value or benefit at all for anything. When we do have the understanding, then it does have benefit and value, the actual commandment. It's a trap. It's like carnal Jerusalem's carnal, and it was judged and done away with because the old can't mix with the new for very long. It's going to burst. New wineskin with new wine. It's going to burst if you don't get rid of the old. And so Jerusalem had to go away and become New Jerusalem, all new. And everything we read is concerning things that are true right now, concerning the kingdom. He's building a people, the stones, the people. Every parable's true right now, and it's for us, Every word is true and for us. He's not deceiving us and trying to trick us. Um, in some kind of weird snakish way. Obviously those that don't have truth and don't seek truth, they're going to be blinded, and our Father blinded them then. It's a stumbling stone. But, through Satan deceiving the whole world. It's an evil teaching to teach that you have to do something first. That's the very thing that the Father, those before them we read, that yoke, that's what the false prophets and everybody would have been saying to do. Everyone's carnal. Do all these things. Well, if that's who someone is, it's killing them, and they're killing other people too, because the letter kills. Telling someone do this now with that kind of spirit, it kills. There's no favor there. It's just do this or else die, We have to be under his mercy, his grace, favor. And that's through believing first. Then we are taught how to keep these things in the heart. However this manifests will manifest, The heart's the important thing. That's completely different than writing it on letters or a book or on stone. See, here's the words, letters on stone. And here it is writing it on the heart. It's different. See that when it says writing it on the heart, it means, well, the heart is soft, it's soft, moldable, it's spiritual. It's the heart thing in our mind and heart. Keeping that thing in our heart, which looks a little different than on the letters, But they're connected. To not murder someone in the heart, you won't murder someone, literally. So we keep the commandment, thou shalt not murder. Don't lust. You don't keep adultery, and you don't actually commit adultery, do you? This is how it's done. Inside first. Inside out, not outside in. Carnal is outside in, and when they polish the outside, it's dead men's bone inside every time. It's backwards. Keep this, keep that, do this, do that, right now, or else, and then they polish the cup, and then the inside is corrupt completely. He taught this. That's what he was saying. Inside what? The religious peoples, in the temples. Who are the temple? Ye are the temple. The outside, our body, the clothes we wear looks real good, right? But inside the temple is full of dead men's bones. Look at all the people he's been eating and killing, and he's trying to find life some other way, Instead of receiving it from our Father, true life, they try to eat people and get life, and get off up on. They're hungry. Everyone's hungry. Everyone's hungry and thirsty, Literally, yeah, they get hungry and thirsty, but spiritually, they're hungry and thirsty. They got to get their food one way or another. And there's all kinds of deceptive ways of getting this false food, unclean food, These things have value, depth, and meaning. They're not just letters. That commandment looks a little different in the heart than the letters. So as I've been shown, someone that really cares about that and is watching out for unclean food, then they don't eat it. They don't want to eat unclean food because it bothers them to do that. See, it's become genuine. They don't do this for show, not even remotely, but they'll be accused of doing it for show all day long. The very thing people do, they accuse the believers of doing it for show. The very thing religious people do that are in physical temples, reading the Bible all the time. They're not hearing from our Creator. The words are not in them. It's in a building. It's the very thing that He wiped out, Jerusalem. And mankind has built it back up. It's not even that those things are wrong or evil all by themselves, but the connection with what carnal people do, see, gives us the discernment on this is no good, this is carnal. Their focus is like on outward appearance and outward natural things in the building and how people look and their traditions and all that. There's no care or love for truth in the heart. If they truly asked, they would have received something, they would have. So it's just that many people not asking for truth. At the end of the day, whatever I say or some other believer says, that person has to walk with the Creator individually, his own personal experience and journey that's separated from me, and anyone else. He told one of the disciples like what would happen towards his latter end. And then he's asked the Messiah, what about that man over there? What about this other disciple? What are you doing with him? What's going on with him? What are you doing with him? I want to know what he's doing. Don't worry about him and what he's doing in him. You follow me. So that's going to be a problem. That's what carnal people will do. Get into someone else's, the Father's work in that person is what he's doing. It's not my business to like snoop around, and do some kind of carnal, jealous, envious, see what's going on. You follow me, you focus on following this. It's so it's a foul intention. That's why when he asked this, he wanted something that he's not supposed to want. So he got corrected, chastised. It says, follow me, don't worry about him. It's enough for you. It's enough for every individual what he gives you, let alone trying to figure out everyone else. And it's not to say believers should be divided. That's insane to say that they should not want to speak or do anything together. That's not true. But this is a very specific thing there. It's a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of foul intention, curiosity, Well, some 30, some 60, some 100, It's not our business with what the Father's doing exactly. To Paul, sounds like he gave Paul more to do. So, well, you're going to suffer more. It's the only way that happens. But as long as someone's producing some kind of fruit, it's either producing fruit or it's dead. That's it. It's either growing or it's dead, dying, dead. A lot of lies, a lot of contradictions out there. Just it's like I want to see something happen, and just he won't allow it. I suppose that was Paul's experience too. Spread the gospel, did so much work, right? The Father did so much work through him, and then all the gatherings, the churches of Asia left Paul. That must be pretty difficult then, huh? Just to see a few remain that weren't ashamed of his chains, that weren't carnal, just a few left. All of them, see? It's like he has to show you even that to break you down even further, break Paul down even further than he already was. Just to go, see all this work I had you do out of all these hundreds and thousands of people that you might have touched, just a few. And now you get to die thinking about that. Have fun, Paul. Told you you would suffer. Didn't I tell it? Didn't I tell you? Told you would have to suffer a lot for my name's sake. I'll show you how much. You know? Yeah, that would sound cruel to the carnal mind, but people don't know our Father. See, they don't know. He doesn't have wicked intentions. These are all doing good things, and it's good things coming, and it's growing that person up into something good. See, but unbelievers laugh loudly, and they're laughing, and where scriptures say, turn your laughter into mourning. Something's not right here. Why are you laughing so much? Turn your laughter into mourning and weep and howl. Weep and howl. Why? Because that's what's coming. If it's not now, then well, it's coming. There's nothing a believer could say. There's nothing they can do. No one's going to believe them. And there's too many false prophets out there. So when someone says something that really cares and means what they say, well, he's just another one of those people with opinions and whatever, divided. That's all we ever see. So it can't be that someone actually has any kind of understanding. They'll just ask you if you're God. Just like they did to Messiah. You God? You saying you're God? No, I'm not. I'm the son of Elohim, he said. And you have a problem with me calling myself a son? They accused him of being the creator, God, you know, falsely accusing and falsely believing and putting that on Messiah that he's God, because the carnal man, all it sees is pride from the spiritual man. It thinks that's what it sees, you know, it's confused. It sees everything that it is and accuses. That's why it says a spiritual man judges all things, but he himself is judged by no one. Or spiritual man discerns all things, and he himself is discerned by no one. Carnal man can't discern a spiritual man, a true believer. False believer can't discern a true believer. It's not even possible. It's literally not allowed. It's not given. They don't have the sight to do it. When the Father's not in someone and the devil's in there, it's not possible to have true discernment and true intentions and true sincerity or anything. That's the truth. The carnal mind is at war with our Creator. When is that not true? That's why it's a massive problem. Are ye yet carnal? Because the carnal mind hates our Creator, hates his people, has nothing to do with any truth at all. That's, you know, someone that hates our Creator does not have truth in them. And yet they can say words, though. They can say right words. They can say some right words, or even sometimes a lot of right words. The blinding's scary, man. He's showing me how hardened people are. That's what I'm, you know, I'm seeing this, and I'm in myself when learning things that I've never seen before, going, wow, I've never seen this. How did I not see this? Dude, I'm well aware of this blinding, and well aware that the only reason whatever I do see now is because it was truly given, and actually believe that someone could have said something to me 3 years ago, but then those words, if they were right words, I didn't see them until 2 or 3 years later and go, oh, wow, I see that now, you know, see what he was saying. That's what no one can do here, see? No one can write anything in someone's heart. They can't do that. They can't save themselves. How could they do that to someone else? Lean not on your own understanding. If you can't even trust yourself for understanding, how are you going to give someone understanding? Can't be done. People are acting as if it can be done by default. When they make false accusations, it's even more insane and ridiculous when the believer understands that they can't even do anything. Like Moses, we have the picture of how it works. He teaches the people the commandments. Messiah teaches, he's the mediator, the new covenant, teaching us the commandments in the heart. You have one teacher, he said. Does that mean believers can't help each other out? No. But what does that mean? You have one teacher, not 10,000, not 50, not 10. And the Father and Messiah are one, you know, something people don't understand. To receive teaching from the Messiah is the same as the Father. They're one. They teach the same. The Messiah is in the express image of the Father. So we have one true teacher, meaning there is no second or third. No one else can teach anybody. in the heart, actual real things to actually see and believe, and give power to them. Here, you want power? Let me wave my wand and you'll have power to stop adultery. It's not happening. But that's why Paul calls it the foolishness of preaching, because he knows that his words is not actually writing anybody's hearts. It's just through the work, working in the field. He does good through the worker working in the field, through him. The Father's doing it through the worker. And the worker's going around throwing seeds. Weeds are coming up. Things are coming up. Little plant sprouts and then it dies, Picture the physical thing. And the devil comes in to sow, the wickedness. The devil always to steal, kill, and destroy. Give someone a word, and the foul spirit, that bird, comes down and plucks that seed, and the word disappears from their mind. Disappears from their mind. There's some humor to this because it's like we do so much sometimes and we know it's like, why even do what I just did? They're just going to forget it tomorrow. It's as if I didn't write anything. It's like talking to a brick wall. What values, what think a brick wall is going to move or do anything? And yet we still do what we do, whatever we're inspired to do, Maybe every now and then one person will benefit, this would be a good thing. In fact, I do believe that's what happens. It's not zero, like no one ever believes, just not many. Just not many. It's crazy because I don't know how long I haven't gone to the church world, but see, I could go in there if I wanted to, and I don't feel like I can say anything in there. Something's not right with that. But if I were to say something, I'd be having to run out because I know what's going to happen already. I already know the outcome, but we're it's why we're not supposed to go around where the gospel's already been, it's already worked in them and everything. That's not the primary concern there, but you don't even have to say that much. You just say things that you believe. That's the difference, and they just see a light, and they're gonna hate you. They're gonna all hate the people you think are good and everything. They're gonna hate you. People are doing a good job hiding, man. This is what it's all about. This is that deception that devil's masquerading. The children of the devil masquerade, they have to hide it constantly, who and what they are. And I had, you know, an interesting experience. Not a good one, really. I thought it was good until it wasn't. Someone full of knowledge, right words. Then a couple words here or there slipped in, and there was some anger for some reason. Didn't see it then yet, until after the fact, looking back, showing you. See what happened back here? This is what this was. Oh, okay. And this is what this was. Oh, okay, that's real ugly. Don't show them anymore. Nope, I have to show you more. And see, this is what this was. Oh, right. So you're saying that that was just used and abused? Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I'm saying. That's what they do to you. They just use you and abuse you for their own gain. um, teaching that the commandments went away, and seeing what this means now, that someone who does that, it's a given that it's not in their heart. It's just automatically a given. Oh, the commandments are gone, the laws are gone, vanished. Well, it's not in their heart. So what are they doing right now? Well, they're masquerading. They're trying to kill, steal, and destroy. I sent you to him to try and sift you like wheat, test you, go through all this stuff. And if Messiah didn't pray for his disciples, they would be sifted like wheat. There's no power. Can't people see it? You can't do it. Messiah doesn't pray for his people. We're done. We're smoked. We're going to go back into sin and destruction and never come out. That's why it's a very foul thing when someone has that spirit, of do it yourself. It's the difference between a believer and an unbeliever. They seem to be lacking that testimony too. You just can't genuinely give thanks for, the Father saving them and revealing himself. You don't seem to have that testimony. The very thing we read, I've had people look, in total disbelief, like I'm an insane person. You know, is the you're saying he's talking to you? He must be crazy. Look at him. God is talking to him. It's evil. You read that constantly. From Genesis to Revelation, the Creator speaks to his people, and they don't believe it. Christians don't believe it when it's all said and done, and you actually dive in deep. They don't believe it. Let me check with my pastor. Why? I thought you're supposed to have one teacher. Let me check with my shepherd, my pastor. False prophets don't teach this. They want to be your God. They want to give all the answers. If someone doesn't listen or believe whatever's going on, whatever's being said right now, so be it. So be it. What can I do about it? I'm not there to stop it if I can't stop it. If it's not going to be stopped ultimately, I can't stop it. They want to have all the answers. They get some carnal, benefit from people asking them for all the answers. And there's what I've noticed with carnal people is they're robotic. They say the exact same things, the exact same times and everything. It's like I'm not seeing any growth. It's just the same thing that they heard somewhere, and then they just repeat it and don't really believe it themselves. Carnal man can't truly believe. It's not possible. They masquerade, man. I've seen it too many times. Seen it too many times. Real people. You start getting into truth and you're passionate about it. And you take a look at them and there's discernment. What is going on with him? And they're getting like uncomfortable and want to walk because they don't believe. That's why you're talking about like the resurrection as if it's an absolute fact with no doubts whatsoever, and they like want to walk away. They're scared. um, it's the same thing over and over again. Ministers, elders, doesn't matter who it is, give truth, freely giving truth to them and wanting them to see which is something that I really was like zealous for in the beginning, I guess, like overzealous, until I started to find out nobody actually wants to hear anything, like any good news at all. But I didn't know. It's crazy, I didn't know. It's like, oh, this is truth. This is good news. Um, this is not what I didn't see it yet. I didn't see the problem with taking their kingdoms down, and the hatred of the devil and pride and everything. I didn't see all those things. You're just blind to it until you're given more and more to see why people do things and why they hate things and why they like things. Discern the heart. It's a real sad condition. It's a real sad condition to live every day and nobody believes you. And it's not even about self. It's just the truth. It's literally no one believes you. And I'm not talking about just teaching or something. I'm talking about they don't believe what the Father's making you become. They don't believe you're actually changing. They don't believe that. It's tough. And yet somehow I'm not in despair and destroyed. It's pretty amazing. Live by myself since, well, I mean, since forever. But not even like I'm disconnected from the world. Just it's like everybody loves this and that, and I'm just like, it's like I'm not there. That's the way it is for a believer. And they ask you if you're okay. Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need help? It's amazing. That's what they're talking about themselves. I keep repeating it because of how consistent and true this is. They need help really bad. So they're going to project the opposite thing that they need. Do you need help? Meaning I don't. People can't touch these things because they haven't been given any truth. They're just carnal people that want to kill, steal, and destroy and teach lies. Going into the why people do things and seeing it, seeing the tricks of the devil, literally starting to see it. He's not tricking us anymore like that. Not to say we'll never be like tricked and have to look back and go, oh, okay, he's showing us the tricks. The lust, it's one of the most amazing things because I think that's one of the biggest problems in the world, or one of the biggest weaknesses, sins, lust of the eyes, the flesh, the adultery, and everything, of course, pride of life connected to it. And it's like it's gone. It might as well be gone. It's insane. But I remember not too long ago, there was still like battle, up and down battle, in the mind and heart. And now looking back, it's like we forget how much he does with us. It's just too easy to take it for granted because you just get used to it. You just get used to the new creation, Messiah in us. Um, and it's like gone. No one's going to believe that. Who's going to believe that? No one. Save, well, believers, I guess. That's it. What about love of money? They're going to believe that when you say you don't love money in your heart? It's not in your heart. You don't want to seek it. You don't have anything to do with it. No, no, it's a sad, sore travail, evil experience. Nobody believes anything you say. And everyone falsely accusing constantly. Just never ends. And the proof is there and they still don't believe, man. Some of these proofs are there that you're not chasing these things, that you just don't care about that. You're content with whatever he's given you for the moment, and that's it. It's kind of nice to have this, I don't have to worry about chasing something. Seek the kingdom and you'll have whatever you need. Like I said before, it's a trap. People say I need this because I need to do this. And I have to put so much time into it. I don't got time to read, they carnal thing there, read a lot. I got to do this, I got to do that. I just don't have time to be a believer. If you seek the kingdom first, he'll give you what you need. That's a joke. Nobody believes that except very few people. And knowing the scriptures, there's probably going to be some hard times, some hard testings, take away something, I don't know. I don't know what's in store for the future, but it's not going to be an easy ride, an easy journey. No, there's going to be more, and I just know it in my heart. It's coming. So it's like I'm just trying to just enjoy whatever now is. you know, Test him, see what he's going to do. Curse you and die. See, so the believer just keeps getting more fire, more testing, and they don't curse our Father and say, die, curse the Father and die yourself, and that's the woman's instruction to him, just curse him and die already, sound like love, sound like the Father's love in that person's heart. It's like Eve here, sin and die, dude, listen to the devil. He wants you to sin. You eat too. I did. Curse the Father and die. It's, you know, they're hard words because there's teachings about this. It's like there's something to it. And I have more pity on women because I think they need a spiritual man. So, I just believe that's what needs to happen. It's like if they don't have that, if they have a carnal man, it's like, I don't know. I'm sure the Father could still can do whatever he wants. He can do it, but there's certain truths, that they're not going to change. Um, it's like if the man is weak, it's already a given that the woman's not spiritual. That's what I'm seeing consistently. You know? And Paul goes on a little about this too, and it's somewhere in the scriptures. Old Testament is teaching, but it says like with marriage, they're they're going to be concerned with the world and the love of the world and the things in it, like more carnal, like than maybe the man. I don't know. like it's going to be deeper, like things about the world in some kind of way, shape, and form. And he's saying, well, that could take time away from, and you have to please her. I'm not making these words up. Paul wrote this. But he said if you marry, it's not a sin. See, because there would have been people saying it's a sin. That's why he would have said it's not a sin. Um, you know, 1,000 out of 1,000 people, one I have found. Like one man. It says somewhere in Ecclesiastes. But a woman I have not found. And more bitter than death is that. More bitter than death is that her fetters are traps and nets. And then the Father gives the woman to the sinner, but to him who's, however it says it, righteous, believing, something along these lines of the word, he protects them from her. You think the world would like to hear these words? With the whole movement going on now, pure rebellion. I'm seeing something, but I don't know that I have the full picture and answer about this. People take advantage of women. They do that. That's why I think that scripture's in there, taking advantage of widows or heavy laden with sin, women heavy laden with sin, taking advantage of them. It's a wicked thing. Spiritually weaker, I don't know, because if someone's carnal, they're carnal, but there's some difference there. I don't know how to put it into the right words, or if there is right words I can put it into. I see it in my mind, I'm seeing something about that. Eve is like, yeah, just a little more hardcore worldly, I think, more into it. See, because Eve got deceived and Adam didn't, Paul said, and he got that from Genesis, from the Father revealing him that, because those words aren't in there exactly like that. And he's saying this is what Genesis is teaching. See, that's the Father giving him truth. People are going to say, you can't say that, Paul. You can't do that. What do you mean? He gave it to me. And then they don't believe him. So it's like they're more easily deceived and better deceivers, and Adam's just straight up weak. Like he knows something, but just allows it to happen anyway. See? And people take advantage of this thing with women. Like even carnal things, they'll take advantage. And there's the Father, then the Messiah under, then the man, then the woman. I know people aren't going to like to hear this, but there's something to this. It's lining up. It's like if the man doesn't chastise the woman, it's just not going to be there. And the man's like directly under Messiah. See, it's all one, but it doesn't say the woman's right under Messiah. See, this is a actual spiritual true thing that exists. There's something to it. This is the order that this world is in rebellion to. That's why there's a vicious rebellion for this, because here's what the truth is. Therefore, the world does the opposite. I don't need a man. I'm self-sufficient, and don't check their heart and condition when they're all by themselves, crying and weeping, telling everyone on Facebook I need 50 more tattoos because I'm in bitter destruction. I feel sorry for them, but they really think they're doing something good or brave, and they're not. It's just rebellion. Um, it's the truth, because no one can touch our Father's truth or word. If they're going against his truth, they're paying the penalty of death for it, and blinding and destruction and delusion. There's not even one exception that's in this rebellion that's not receiving this judgment, not even one. That's how confident I am in his truth. He's given me to see it. They'll masquerade as them doing okay. They're not doing okay. That much I can see, it's not. I've talked about it before. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't, with worldly women that don't believe. If the man's weak, well, they rule over him and hate that, secretly hate that inside, because something's messed up with that. But then if he's not weak, let's say he's a true believer, spiritual, man, they're going to end up hating that too. Unless they're believers, then they would like to do what's right. But if not, then it's like both sides just kind of screwed. Gods in our own minds. Right to the woman, you shall be as gods. It's for Adam too. But it's like for some reason the woman's more closely connected somehow, weaker spiritually or something, just by default, not less valuable. Someone would try to put that on. You're saying less about, some evil, stupid thing like that, but there's something spiritually true about this. And then I suppose you could say kids, but I don't read that in there. I think it just stops at man and woman. Throw children under there, and the children need chastising. So it's like the woman needs chastising, then the man needs chastising, and then Messiah needs constant chastising. See, because the Father was working in him, and he learned through suffering, and he became the head of the body. So it's like, here's the order. Break this order and you got problems. I don't know how the video got to this point, but I don't even know what the title is. I could never remember, it seems like. Yeah, I look forward to wake up, if that's what my Father's will is, to wake up. Sometimes I say, just don't wake me up. But, let's start that roller coaster crazy carnal ride tomorrow and see how much crazy things can happen. I've been saved so many times, man, from wrecks. It's a lot of hours of driving constantly, man. I need the protection. It's just a matter of time. It feels like I'm going to get in a wreck, but I hope not. Last second save. It happened today. Would have slammed somebody in the rear end. I mean, it wouldn't have been, I guess, crazy like a head on at 70, but I would have slammed pretty hard at someone's rear end. Just look down for just a second. Whatever I was looking at, my orders on the phone, boom. there's a car in front of me, and I swerved to the right and missed it just in time. Difficult. I think I thought I would like it more than I do what I'm doing, but it's okay. It's fine. Don't really want to complain with what I've been given. It's like, oh, I'm complaining that this is what he's given me. It's kind of a problem. Just no, don't complain. And I have no idea what he's going to give next, what he's going to do. Just can't stand to see. You just have to get away from it all. You know, other people and what they say and what they're doing and all these things. It's like I had to get away from it more and more, from like YouTube, comments, still making a comment here and there, but it's like every single time that it's ever happened, it's been a rotten experience. Like not every, but almost every time. Almost every time. I don't believe people when they say I love you, I believe it. It's the very same thing I heard from the person I, knew for about a year or so. I don't think that was the case. In fact, I'm not here to make any friends. I don't want to be your friend. I don't care about that. Those very words were said. So, and this person says on the comments, I love you, to people. Just want to remind you, I love you. I tell you, I love you. He's showing me some interesting patterns and things. I'm not saying that that's always going to be the case when someone says that this is false and not true, but I mean, for the most part, more if someone projects that so much, it's like I'd be a little concerned. You don't have to do something to prove it. Here's a gift. Let me prove how much I love you. I have to say it 1,000 times. Here, let me prove it by saying it over and over again. Something's not right with that. The world thinks it evil, though, if you don't say or do anything, because everything is proving how good you are by the carnal things you do as proof for how good you are. The very thing that I'm not seeing in myself as with my understanding given. I don't feel like I have to prove anything. Um, you you're with whoever you're with or speaking to whoever you're speaking, and this is it. This is genuine care right here. What do you want me to do and prove? And they don't accept it. Gifts. It's been a problem for a while, but it's like even worse now. I don't like receiving gifts. It's just so fake to me because I can't fake real and go, thank you. I don't want a gift. I don't care. I just want something real. Just want someone to care about truth. I don't want your gift, and it makes people angry or whatever. It's just a show. It's just a fakery. It's what Christmas is all giving these gifts. Let me prove how much we love everyone, how good we all are. It's no good when there's nothing genuine in there. Just giving gifts, all about self. Selfies are about self. Social media is about self. YouTube is about self. Everything's about self. I can't find someone that's not about just self. At least in real life here. What people do is they learn how to do good editing and videos, and they're all doing the same thing. It's like it's producing a product. That's what I'm seeing. It's producing a product. It's social engineering. They all start talking the same, moving the same, smiling the same. Just the way they are. The setup is the same. The editing is the same kind of same. Talking really fast with lots of fast editing the same. And it's a race to who can be a millionaire. There's no love for it. It just makes me sick. And then they go and give gifts and record it on YouTube and talk about how humble millionaires are. Not buying it, sorry. No such thing as a humble millionaire. It's like I've said that before out loud because I got angry from hearing some millionaire being praised. I'm like, there's no such thing as a humble billionaire. They look at you, Christians look at you with disgust. Okay, sorry, let me go. I have to go, sorry. We worship God, our man, he's going to save us. We worship Donald Trump, Biden, and believe they're good and humble. Billionaires that are humble, it's amazing. It's literally not possible. What can't they see? Their whole life's purpose is to make more and more and invest and make more. And they think they're humble. Amazing. We're not even supposed to be concerned about, like, to actually be truly concerned and worried about the kings of the earth and everything like that. I'm not saying like to have no care for what's going on and to watch out for things and stuff like this, but to actually have our heart in, oh no, who's the next president? That's what he's shown me. I'm not worried about who's president. It's just going to be what it is. No one's going to change it. There's no such thing as what if, because it was already declared from the beginning. Concerning with the kingdom, which means you're like in la la land for them. And to us, we're in la la land. Like they're over here in Disneyland and we're over here somewhere else. Um, just strangers passing by. Something's not right here. I could see it. I could see the love of the world in people. The very thing that he says you can't do. Love not the world or anything in it. See, we can't be attached with any kind of love for it like this. And they forget Messiah said that. The church world forgets he says that, right? It's nice being content if he is indeed showing you how to do that. Maybe it's not perfected the way it needs to be, but you have it now and it's growing. You don't have to worry. You know, you'll just know that it's a given. You didn't try to seek it out or do this or do that. Seek the kingdom first, and you'll have all these things that you need. Be worried about the devil's kingdom first, and then do away with seek the kingdom. Is that what he said? Seek the world first, and make sure you have enough, you know, everything set up for yourself so you can survive and make more and more. Make sure you do this. I don't believe. Family doesn't believe. Nobody believes around here. No one to speak to except like myself. Um, not myself. Speak to my creator. That's it. Messiah. That's it. And give it through the YouTube. Here's what's going on in my mind. Let me just record it. There it is. If someone finds value, they do. If they don't, they don't. At the end of the day, they got to be seeing what he's teaching each individual, looking at how the church world works. It's the perfect opposite, really. It's totally has nothing to do with personal relationship, one on one, to know the Father, to know the Messiah. Do away with that and talk about a lot of carnal things and doctrine and religion and, the world, your job and how much money you make and all these things. He's blessed me with a lot of carnal things. So what was their mind on all day long? What was their mind? I can tell you it's not meditating on his law, his word, his commandments, his everything. It's not that all day long. No, it's not. What's the carnal mind's mind? I have a hard time even, what on earth was I thinking about? Worthless things. That's what. You have to be attached to something when you don't have the Father in you. You have to be worshiping, idolizing, thinking about something. Maybe it's dirt bikes or quads or whatever, basketball, something, weightlifting, see how big you can get, women, see how many women you can get, carnal, just all day long, money, business, more money, business, more money. I'm talking about the love for money. I'm not here to tell anyone what they have to have. Love and money in the heart. Buy and sell. The devil found a way to make a lot of money, and I want you to do it now. Okay. That didn't work so good last time for this person. Warn them that this money pierces people through with many sorrows. Keep on chasing it to their own destruction. It's not possible to think about anything else. Just the way we're born into this world, carnal with deceitful hearts, and that's it. We're sucked in, and that's all it is. That's all it can be and think about is the world and primarily money, mostly money and lust, women, men. That's it. It's torment. It's torment to actually believe, and meditate on truth. That's torment to a carnal man. I think that's it. That's all I got. It's disappointing, I don't know. Sometimes it's like, should I just delete the channel? Um, I don't think I can do that. Well, I can't do whatever he tells me not to do on that. If he says delete it, I'll delete it, but he hasn't told me to do that. I've been tempted to, though, but I don't think I can do that. I hope there's at least a couple believers out there, at least a couple, because there's not a couple around here in where I live. I haven't seen it yet. If I'm carnal, then whatever I'm concerned about or discerning, I'm automatically that. That's what I've been saying. That's what we're supposed to be watching out for, growing away from that hypocrisy. And I believe there's a few people out there that are, this is what's going on in them. Got to be a few where they say something and they're not just full blown hypocrites all the time. It's disturbing, man. It's disturbing what people say that isn't true. How easy is it to discern people who make money? That's what they do it for. Take away the money, you just took away what they do. I think I'm running out of words. Must be in. Everyone's going to claim the same thing. That's the sad thing. I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this for fame. They're all going to claim the same thing. All of them. Everyone. Even the people that say they need new jets. Give us money. We need new jets. Even they would say we're not doing it for money. We're doing this to help people. That's the sad thing. Everyone's going to say the same thing, and you know, so no one's going to believe a believer when they actually are there. They're not going to believe him. Everything they say and teach and do is foul and receives 1,000 trillion times more hatred than any good carnal thing coming back, and yet they do this for themselves. It's crazy. It's like our Father protected, even with that truth. The only thing you're going to get is negativity and hatred back. Then they have to look like a fool for claiming you do something for some false intention reason to, like, for fame or something, when the only thing you receive back is pretty much mostly hatred, in real world, online, comments, everything, and your own family. If there was two options, get famous in this world instantly or die, I would hit the die button before I could think about it. Better to die not being that than go into judgment for that fame. See how quiet that is? That's how it is all the time here. Just like that. Just quiet. Every day. Nobody here except me. That's it. Quiet. I do have a benefit. I have no excuse for time or, to meditate, do anything. I have no excuse. Zero excuses. I don't have family. I don't have woman, kids, nothing. Friends, they're pretty much gone. I think there's a couple of them that are hanging on by a thread before they finally murder me. Then they'll be gone too. For doing something evil to them? No. No. Just being whatever he's made you to be and saying a few true words about what the truth is, the good news gospel, and then they murder you. So that's going to go away too. 100%. It must be so. It's just a matter of a little more time before a couple more threads are cut off, and that's it. Strings. You find out that your so-called friends, the only reason they're friends is because that you did something for them, and if that goes away, well, they go away too. It was never truly genuine. That's what's so sick and deceiving about everything. It could feel like it is and all these things, but it's not actually truly real or genuine. If it was, then they wouldn't murder you and walk away. That's enough proof right there. If it was genuine, they could never test you and try to get you to sin. But I don't call that a genuine friend, someone that wants you to sin so that they can excuse themselves from it and make you look like a sinner. That's what believers do to other believers. They try to catch them in some sin and test them and tempt them. No, that's not a true friend. It's not a true brother. That's why he said, "My brothers, fathers, mothers, sisters are what? Those who do the will of the Father." That's it. They're the ones, not anybody else right now. Not anybody else. Only the ones that seek to do the Father's will. That's it. Those are my brothers, mothers, sisters, fathers. If you don't hate your parents and your own life and everyone else, you have nothing to do with me. Hard words. If you don't hate your mother, your father, your sister, and even your own soul, your own life, you have nothing to do with me. You have no part of me, he said. What does that mean? You're supposed to go and, you know, hate them and kill them. Love your enemy, but hate them at the same, hate people that are close to you. No, it's not a literal carnal hatred that's going on there. That's not the point. It's a spiritual thing there. It has to be given and seen, and it's an actual reality. And people will notice when this happens. My own parents said to me, "We're losing you," out of the blue. What's going on? We're losing. Can you believe it? Same with people I would have, hung out with more and all these other things. I don't have to hear the words. I know that's what's going on in their mind. Losing. He murdered us. He's walking away from us. Falsely going to accuse us. That's what it is to hate your mother, brother, father, sister, and losing you. That's what it is. You love him, the creator, Messiah, more than anybody else, including your own life. There it is. That's the teaching. And people love God more than money, love God more than their brothers and sisters and wives. It has to be given. It can't even be done unless that's given. A lion can't be anything else but a lion. It's really simple. It's got to be tamed and changed, and it's got to be done from some kind of power other than itself. The lion can't change. This is the very thing people deny. And when someone's hardened like a rock, it's even worse. It's like, yeah, they couldn't, human nature can't change. But then when someone goes into delusion, it's like that very thing that they say and do and teach never changes either. Even if it's a lie, you know. I've been shown repeatedly you can't put focus on carnal, natural things. Seeking the kingdom first is mind and heart, and this is the primary true thing. Things after that, what to do here, what to do there, that can't be put first. That can't be at the top, you know, because if the heart's not there, it doesn't matter anyways. If the heart's being changed and it's there and it wants to do what's right and it wants to know truth, then whatever comes, comes. You wouldn't put like such and such above this. See, like um, like a day starts in the morning, in the daylight. You don't focus on that first by itself, you know, but when the heart is right, then it's going to learn true things and know it, and then this comes. When the heart's wicked, it's going to say the day starts at night. You know, that's just how it is. When the heart's completely deceitful and deceived, it's going to say that Saturday's on a man-made calendar. That's all. That's what it's going to do. It's going to say that people burn and rot in hell forever because the heart's not there. The heart's there, the rest will come. You know, and we don't have to get all these little things, carnal, natural things right away at first. You know, it's not even expecting us to. He has to give it. That's the focus, see? And then these things will come. That's what I've been shown. That's the order it's been working out so far. Inside, then the outside starts getting fixed and taken care of. See, it doesn't matter what the outside is. If the heart's corrupt, it's not going to do anything, you know? It's not going to do anything for us. It's just some natural carnal thing. And that's our focus. Flesh profits nothing. That's why he said that. The flesh, natural, carnal, fleshly, earthly, lowly, to the ground, underground, profits nothing. We can't have that understanding only, carnal. But these things, like I've been repeating, they do discern and give me discernment, though. You know, what people teach, what they believe. Like the spinning globe gives me good discernment, and the sun being bigger than everything and everything else rotating around it gives me pretty good discernment. He's showing me sun worship, not on a firm foundation, tossed by every wind of doctrine on the roaring waves, spinning and moving. There's no rock. The devil's teaching, see, it's telling me that something's real sick about the heart because of this spinning globe and everything else. It's telling me something sick about the heart when a day is a new day at midnight. See, inside, outside, inside first. It worries me. It makes the antennas go up when someone says Messiah reigns forever and ever with no end, and people burn in hell forever with no end. It's a big concern. Something's not right with the heart. Where did these people get their teachings? Where do they get it from? It's an interesting question to ask each individual. Where did you get all your understanding and teaching from? What you believe, what you do? Was it books and just reading? Because if so, then they're deceived. No one can read the Bible and just, oh, I got understanding. And yet his word is important, and yet it also kills at the same time. Got to give the meaning of the words, then they become living words, and it's something to live. Something to live every day. Every single day, this is happening. This living word is happening, and this prophecy is happening, and this is what people are, and this is what they're doing. This is what the devil is. Here's what his mission and job is to do: steal, kill, and destroy. And if someone doesn't have the Father in them, the only thing they can do is steal, kill, and destroy. But primarily, they come after people, the believers. They want to get rid of them. They're just as afraid as losing their world and the kingdoms and everything, their life. They're afraid of dying and losing the love for this world, where it's just dead. There's no love for it. They're afraid of that. All right, I'm going to end it. Mm, I don't know when I'll do another video. Because it's been a lot lately, but there's a period of time where I did a bunch of videos, and then it was like, I don't know, 5, 7, 8 months of nothing, like one or two maybe in that time, a lot, and then back off again. Interesting. It's like this cycle. During that time, a lot of learning was being done. Not that it isn't now, but like a lot of learning, problems, divisions, disappointments going on. Okay. Should I even say it? That I have a hard time ending it because there's nobody around me here? Would anybody have actually believed that? No, I don't think so. don't think so. Save a couple, maybe. Save a couple or a few. It's interesting because whatever I'm saying is what's going on in my mind all day long. Maybe not like word for word. But that's it. It's not about the world. There's no one. There's no one here. It's like a ghost town, desert. That's it. Peace. Take care. Seek truth. You have to have that same experience that Messiah had. That's it. It's ultimately what I could say. Whether someone believes that I'm false or not, they're going to have to believe whatever they believe. But they, whoever they are, have to experience what Messiah experienced. You know, that's the truth. That's what's been given to me to see. And I wouldn't take it so like literally, like, you have to die on a stake, you know what I'm saying? And yet it's true. You have to experience all these things, all these spiritual things, the murder, the hatred, the false accusations. You have to experience that. And I think quite a bit. That's it.